Hi everyone. Sorry I've been gone for so long. I'm back. So we are going to be doing an energy reading update on what you can expect out of Libra season. So I know Libra season already started a week ago, a little under a week ago, but here it is. So we still have, I think, 3 or 4 more weeks of the season. 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4, 3 to 4 weeks left of Libra season. So yeah, we'll be getting right into it. I just have to grab some cards. If you want to listen to this music, feel free. If anyone wants a link to it, hopefully this live chat system that I have will pop up for everyone when you all watch this video. If not, it's called Calm and Relaxing Katamari Music Mix. And Katamari is spelled Katamari. So it's really good. Check it out if you are feeling interested in this music. It is very calm and relaxing. So yeah. I love you all. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. If anyone wants to hang out with me while I get ready, feel free. But yeah. You can still see. I thought that would work, but I didn't realize how good my camera is. There we go. And then cards. And actually, let me close my door. Also, my apologies to everyone else who wanted to skip ahead to the reading. There is a timestamp. It'll be in the description box below. So, whoops. Okay. And then for everyone who's hanging out with me, I chose 4 decks for this reading. I might do some Libra themes for the reading as well, which would be focusing on relationships, balance between things, fairness, decisions that need to be made or plans that need to be worked on. You know, that's what comes up in my mind when I think Libra season. Also, just for you all to know and to be aware, we are going to be entering a Mercury Retrograde. Either we've already entered one, or we're entering the Mercury Retrograde in a few days. I don't really remember when exactly it is, but it's happening. It's like happening right now. Since we're in Libra season already and some cards fell. But yeah, the importance in that is that Mercury retrogrades usually, or probably always, 3 times a year. And this is a very critical year for the Mercury retrogrades which is every single like transit, right? But the thing that makes this year's retrogrades special for Mercury is that it retrograded in the air signs each season, each cycle. So at the beginning of the year, we had our very first Mercury retrograde in Gemini season, and then Aquarius season. I forget, Aquarius season's over up in January and February. So we had a Mercury retrograde during that time. Then we had a Mercury retrograde in Gemini season, the next air sign on the roster. And then finally, we are having the third Mercury retrograde of the year in Libra. So it's just very interesting that it happened in all 3 air signs of the season, and Mercury was in that sign as well. Like, as much as the sun was transiting in these 3 air signs, Mercury is also going retrograde in each respective sign, if that makes sense. So I think that's very fascinating. And for those of you who also find that interesting, but you're like, what does it mean? Obviously, I'm still getting started on my journey and everything is kind of like up to the individual. So like what it means to me could be something completely different to you, to any particular viewer. Overall energy, and then we'll do more later. But to me, it means that this Mercury retrograde season or year is going to be a lot more in the flow. Basically, whenever something is happening in its own element. So let me backtrack. The thing that makes it interesting that Mercury retrogrades in each air sign this year is that Mercury's ruling planet is Gemini, I believe. I think also Virgo, and also with planets in the ruling sign, that's also sort of up to the individual. There are some tarot readers that I've watched that do not resonate with Pisces having Neptune as their ruling planet, and insist that it's only Jupiter and not Neptune. Though in my opinion, like Neptunian, water, Neptune, the king or the god of the sea, that is literally Pisces. So I don't get how Neptune is not like a ruling planet for Pisces for some, but that's just one example of how, to each their own. The journey is yours, right? So for me, I just take as many ruling planets as possible. Like, if Pisces can have both Jupiter and Neptune as a ruling planet, why not? I'll take it. So that's how I feel. So Mercury is one of those planets as well. Some say Gemini and Virgo. Some might just say only Gemini. Others might feel more strongly that it's just Virgo. I don't personally 100% pick just one or another in most situations. I usually pick both, which also is a very Piscean thing, I guess. But to be a single star in the sky, I need you to kill me. But yeah, so that's the significance, if that all made sense. So basically what I was saying is that any time that a transit is occurring in its home environment, I feel like it's very much kind of a good thing, because it's like in sync, like you're in alignment, you know what I mean? Like if Neptune went retrograde in Pisces, which it did, to me that's a good thing, because it's in its home element. If Jupiter went retrograde, or is even transiting forward, or especially just going direct, in Sagittarius, for example, to me that's a good thing, So to me, Mercury retrograde's happening all in the air signs this year is a good thing. The challenge to that is Mercury retrograde is an optical illusion. It's the visual experience that the planet Mercury is now going backwards. In other words, to us humans who are very much working through a lot with attachment challenges, I could say, I guess, and like abandonment issues, things along those lines, human stuff, right? We have a tough time with retrogrades because in our eyes, our planet that we're used to having is going away and we panic about it. But in reality, it's not. It's just what we see visually, even though the reality is that Mercury is always with us. So that's like a quick description of how I feel about retrogrades and like the misconception that retrograde equals bad. Many of you at this point probably don't feel that way anymore. I know at the beginning of a lot of our journeys when we get on this path, which you're always on your own path, of course, but once we start really believing in ourselves and trusting that we do know what this whole experience is all about. It's about yourself. It's about you, which is the opposite of what humans will tell you. People will try and make you feel like it's somehow not about you and that it's about them. But it's like, how could it be? You're inside of your body, not their body. So how does that even make sense, right? Very weird, personally, in my opinion, that people don't understand that your journey should be about you, so therefore your answers in life should be your answers in life, or the answer to the universe should be your answer for you specific. You know what I mean? Like, it's just strange to me that humans think that we don't all get to have our own meaning and that there's just one meaning. But if that were the case, we would literally be one hive mind. And in a lot of ways, that's sort of the case in the sense that we're all connected, we're all one, we all pretty much share a space in the universe, and by energy, we're all essentially one universe, right? Kind of like how all the little cells in my body all make up me, but they're all different cells living out their own cell life, Forget what I was saying, or I don't mean like you forget, I mean I forgot. I forgot what I was saying. But I do appreciate anyone that's here listening, since, I don't know, you could skip ahead to the video and get the reading, but you chose to spend some more time with me. I do appreciate that. Those of you who really support me and care about me, thank you. I do too. I care about you too. And I know I don't show up nearly enough. And there really is no good excuse for it. I also feel bad, pretty much. But yeah, if things just sort of, if I get this alone time for a while, something I'll be grateful for is that I can go on the channel whenever I actually want. Whereas before, I don't get that chance, like ever. But right now I do get that chance, so yay. The downside to it is that it was very forced, and everything that happened was handled very immaturely. Mostly not on my end, pretty much, but that's like the story of my life. And then to the channel, obviously, not to paint a picture about me being perfect, is just to let you all know, it's not like I handled everything most maturely and most ascended, whatever. I'm still a human. I still have a lot of pain and trauma that I work through. But yeah, so we are going to get started with this reading. That's a long timestamp. Let me try and put it down somewhere. Okay, so for those of you who skipped ahead. Hello. Thank you for being here. We are going to be doing a reading through the weeks of Libra season. I'll switch songs real quick to one that's more instrumental, though there's probably going to be lyrics in an upcoming song, but just so it's easier to hear me, hopefully. So in the first week of Libra season, we are getting the Six of Wands, and my apologies if the lighting is a little dark and everything's all pixelated. This is what I've got right now. I'll just let you know what I pick up from the cards, and I'll try to hold them up long enough so you can pause on each individual card for yourself if any of you are curious in them, even though, again, the image is not super. And then this is the Six of Cups. Aww. And expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. And of course, I'll read all the words that are too blurry on the camera. This one's wordings says, it's definitely a reference to Sagittarius. And then it says warrior spirit, determination, and virtue. Also, I like how I said I was going to switch to a song with no lyrics, but this song has lyrics. But there's a lot of instrumental moments in between. And it's just really chill. So good. This music is so good, in my opinion. But yeah. So, first week, honestly, it looks like a good week. Personally, I'm surprised since my week feels different, but this could be resonating for some of you out there. I really hope it is. But also with the Six of Wands and all these arrows sticking through this person and through their leg, it's kind of making sense. Also, something that's interesting, two completely different decks. I pulled the Six of Cups and the Six of Wands, water and fire. The fun thing for me is that I'm a Pisces Sun, Aries Moon, so some of you might have some sort of connection with water and fire elements. It could be in your chart. You could be dealing with a water or fire sign. You could just be feeling the energy. And if you're wondering what water and fire energy is, the fact that you're feeling more in the feels, that is water and fire. Just for a quick synopsis of water and fire versus air and earth. Water and fire, very emotional, very intuitive, very just go by feel, don't think, just do type of energy. You might be a natural, you might not be a natural at something, but either way you feel like a natural or you'll act like a natural. I combined water and fire. Water is usually you're quite a natural. Fire is very much you definitely just have that confidence of being a natural, whether or not you're experiencing something. Water has unlimited experience because water contains memory. Fire burns and evaporates it all up. So fire doesn't necessarily start off with all the memory, but it sparks and can grow quite rapidly, and therefore makes some significant progress, much like a water element can, though water just starts off like that due to memory, no matter how small or big. And fire, just because of its chemical reaction, I guess, if that's a good way of putting it. Fire, it's just things catch fire. Fire pretty much is very inspirational. It literally inspires things to light on fire. You know what I mean? So, you might be feeling that this week. Gears are shifting, powerful changes are happening. Now, it might be bittersweet is pretty much what I'm getting from that and from my own experience, but for others of you, it could just be all sweet somehow. For sure, you're feeling quite victorious, At least that's the intention of the energy. Some of you might not feel that way because we're all different and we're all going through different things. And I just think about like the person I'm involved with, and if they were to watch this video, who am I kidding? If he were to watch this video, I don't even need to try and keep it anonymous. Like, the majority of you have been following me on this journey who notice when I'm available versus when I'm not. You usually kind of know exactly what's going on. But yeah, that person in particular might not be feeling as victorious, but also like I still see the energy, the potential where they could make a like positive from this experience. So I really do feel like this could resonate with everyone, since you, the viewer, deserve to feel like you're winning at life in your specific experience. Like, none of us deserve to feel like there's a winner and a loser. We all deserve to win, is essentially what I'm trying to get at. So that's just for some of you who like might ever watch this video and just feel like, oh, Sansan Mushy, you don't know me, like, or like, you're just saying that, or you're just nice. Like, no, like, this is the energy. Like, I didn't choose the cards. The cards just sort of chose themselves, you know? I mean, obviously, I did the act of flipping and shuffling, and I did the whole, like, picking cards thing, so it was, like, my energy, but it's also, like, the universe's energy, quite clearly, because how am I supposed to know what's behind each card? You know what could know? The universe. Like a database. Like in a game, when there's like random options to pick, and you, the player, don't know which option is the right one, but the computer program will know 100% of the time what the right one is, or will know immediately the moment it's like selected and done its randomizer like action, you know? Because like, I get it, if any of you are programmers, you could tell me that's not 100% an accurate analogy, because computers can like random number generator is a really easy example to come up with. But even then, the data on it that produces the number and gives it to you, it knows what number it picked. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is definitely the energy for the first week. And then here's you feeling creative, trying to really spend this time wisely to make something good out of it, to make some positive memories there, and to feel like you're making a victory out of whatever experience you could go through. So I think many of you are very much succeeding right now. Others of you are sort of just choosing to feel that success in order to succeed. I don't know. Like, it's like whether or not life looks like success to you, you yourself are putting in the effort of real success, regardless of what you see or how you might feel in whatever given moment. So try to trust that you really are worthy of feeling like a success always, like worthy of feeling happiness and love and safety and like connected with all of your loved ones through like this world and the after whatever's next from this world. So yeah, that's the first week. So next week's energy, and I pulled 4 different piles. So that was the first week of the season, or this current week pretty much. And then the next coming week, which is this week, it's just kind of take that how you will. That's the first week that you can either see that as the first week of the season, which was like about the 19th through the 25th, or you could see that as this coming week. Each pile will kind of be a little bit of the last one, a little bit of the current one, and a little bit of the next one, which I know can be confusing, but I feel like as you go through these weeks, you'll see that energy sounded a lot like the first week / this upcoming week, and then this second week will sound like the previous week / the week you're on, you know? Don't know if that made sense, but yeah. Just take it as it resonates. So now we've got this, which to me this is a like, wow, a big message to past, present, future, like how it connects all into you, which is basically what I was trying to explain. So it's kind of funny that this is the card, and I didn't see this card until this exact moment either, so that's interesting. Then we've got the Six of Pentacles, and that's especially interesting because we already drew the Six of Cups and the Six of Wands. And to me, the next emotional sign is Six of Pentacles. And everyone has emotions, but yeah, definitely in my world, water, very much emotions. Fire, very much emotions. Earth, there's definitely some energy of feeling in there. And then air, there can just a lot of times be a very practical approach. But again, I know that generalizes signs and people, and none of you have to fit into any particular box. This is just how I feel about the energy. But anyways, then we've got Jupiter, which is Sagittarius, and I guess Pisces' ruling planet. And it says conversation, persuasion, and charisma. So maybe some of you during the second week of this season will be communicating with your higher self, with your spirit guides. That's a really big thing that I'm getting there. Meditating, because we've got this conversation card, and then we've got all these different wise aspects of yourself card. Piecing together things. So you're like working things out with yourself, by yourself, a lot of you. Giving back energy to yourself. And mutual energy to your relationships in life. So yeah, there's definitely seeming to be some sort of physical interaction with someone in the second week that could be significant for some of you listening. Then we've got adjustments are required. So maybe the first week is like really working things out by yourself. The second week is sort of like still communicating a lot to yourself, but balancing that back in with what you've learned with your relationships in life. So from what I get out of all of this, and from how I relate, is that some of you might have been going through some major shifts in your partnerships, in your relationships in life. And a tower moment could have popped up and really changed things, or even seeming to have broken something, or broke you and another, or you and many people apart, something along those lines. But what I'm getting, it is so that you can then shift forward and actually distribute more of your energy into other areas in your life, whether that's different people than whoever you got split away from, or some shift or change of schedule. So for example, like for those of you who are like, well, I'm not going through some breakup or whatever, if any of you are wondering, that's what I'm going through, how it could resonate is that maybe your partner, and some of you are single, and it could be family members, or just your day-to-day routine got switched up, if it's really not about people. But going on another example of how this can resonate for you is that maybe your partner has a new schedule now, and so now they work night shifts and you work day shifts, and you both sleep at the time that you're both home or something like that. Or like, yeah, the time that you're sleeping, the other person's working, and the time that you're working, the other person's sleeping. Something like that could very well be what's going on in this first week. And just lately, if that stretches back for a while for any of you. Since again, with this whole time card, I feel like this could be talking very big theme, like the last several years, like this whole COVID series. It's like a whole saga. Like we've got the 2020 book 1, and then we got 2021 book 2. I know. Why is book 2 in the year 2021, right? I doubt it. I don't know if any of you were thinking of that, but that's what I just thought. But so yeah, in the second week, the energy is all shifting and balancing itself out. Adjustments are required. You're like, if you are trying to, like, if during whatever shifts and changes happen in the first week or recently in life, if you really want things to work out with those shifts that seem to have complicated things, either A, like, I shouldn't even say either or, but basically things need to change. Adjustments are required if you want the energy to really match. Like, so some of you might need to put in more effort if you're trying to make like a partnership work. Others of you really just need to like do less, give less of your energy because it's way out of balance and you deserve so much better than that. Definitely talking about myself and any of you who resonate with that. And it can even apply to the person in my situation as well. Like, he could feel like the situation was unfair because, again, we all have our own journey. But yeah, since I'm on my journey and in my perspective, definitely unfair, definitely like the amount of actual like charismatic I care about you and I care about me energy, all of that came from me, like hands down. So yeah, sorry, this is becoming one part like the reading, other part like, hey guys, sort of high-key, low-key, heartbroken right now. So just trying to do my best here. I didn't eat for 2 days, and then I finally ate. So, in fact, I have enough food for either 1 or 2 more spring rolls. So that's good. Oh, water is really good. If any of you are wondering what I've been up to lately, Sudoku. I love Sudoku. I find it to be very, very therapeutic. I did have a huge breakdown about it. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. But yeah, I discovered a really amazing channel called Cracking the Cryptic. And it turns out I'm really good at Sudoku. I didn't realize I was really good at Sudoku, but like I always felt like I was pretty good at it, but I didn't realize I could do like really, really, really like different advanced Sudoku. Because I would always play like Sudoku.com and pick like hard or expert mode, and it would feel really difficult, but I'd fill out a lot of it and then like get to a point where I'm like confused, and it can take me a long time, but eventually I'll do it. And I thought that's about as like complicated as Sudoku puzzles even would go. But once I discovered this channel, I realized that is not the case. There can be symbols all over the Sudoku board. Most Sudoku boards that I've been doing don't even have numbers on it. You have to like literally figure out all the numbers given just some like riddle / clues. It's really cool. So if any of you are interested in that, check out Cracking the Cryptic. I'll also type that name in the live chat. And I'll also provide a link. And for those of you who are like, I'm interested, but that sounds way too complicated, the cool thing about this channel is that you literally watch the person solve this Sudoku puzzle on their own. Like, they do it for the very first time on camera. They're like one of the world champions, or like a champion in a lot of stuff with Sudoku and puzzles. And it's a duo. It's a team of two. They're both really sweet guys. They're very, very nice. Mark and Simon, I believe. So yeah, they provide a video of them doing the puzzle for the first time, I believe. And they also put a link in the description for any of you who want to like pause the video, try it out for yourself. And it's so cool. And yeah, for a lot of them, I will literally do it myself. I'll solve the puzzle and then I'll watch the video and see like if we did it similarly or not. My very first one, I did it exactly the same way that the guy on the channel, Simon, did it. So I felt really good about that. I was like, wow, we literally did the exact same train of thought, even though there's usually many different ways at certain stages in the puzzle to solve it. But so sorry for those of you who are just here for the reading. This is my channel, so it gets very unorganized. So hopefully you're all cool with that. If not, you know, that's okay too. In the sense that like you can go to a different channel. So, continuing on into the third week of the season, we've got the Three of Swords. Now that's a vibe. With, wow, the universe healing you. So some of you might go through a really big, like, emotional breakthrough, mental and emotional. And like, I feel like it'll be a very healing experience for you. Like, let it out. Like, you can cry it out or let the pain out somehow in a way that's like either comforting, lonely, or both. Probably both. If any of you can relate to that, of what I mean. Where like you're crying out in pain or you're feeling the pain. And when you're feeling it, you're like validating that you didn't deserve whatever's happening. So it's very comforting in that sense. But also by feeling the pain, it feels so also lonely. Even though at the same time you're getting this like feeling from the universe that you're not actually alone. Like literally these two cards. On one end it's painful, on the other end it's like a gift from the universe. Like you feel gifted and you feel like provided for and cared for and loved, which you deserve. We all really deserve that. Think about it. Why were you brought into this world to then be made to feel like you have to provide, when literally shouldn't the world be providing that? Like the fact that the world chose to be a certain way that would force you into existence, that it should have had an actual plan from that and not a self-serving plan, which is what almost all of the reason could even be if you just think about that. But like, the point is, none of us born into this world should have to actually do any responsibility. Pretty much. Have you ever heard this when you're like, I don't want to do it? And they go, well, it's your responsibility. It's like, what do you mean? Doesn't that mean it's your responsibility since, like, you were here before me and you, like, put me here on this earth? Dad, or whichever, and if not a family situation, like boss or like teacher, it's like they try to make it sound like you chose the world to be the way it is, when it's like, no, because ideally we'd have world peace. And in world peace, literally no one has to do anything other than just love themselves, and that's it. And wish well among each other and others. You know what I mean? Like, literally the only reason we all have to do stuff is because the world is quite literally broken. And there's so many people trying to gaslight the majority of us, being like, you're complaining, when it's like, no, it's literally broken. Like, we all know it. Like, the planet has been doomed for a while now. Pretty much as soon as humans started doing stuff, like, at all. Like, humans have caused the majority of the issues on this planet, while then bringing more humans into existence and blaming their offspring for it. How does that even make sense, right? So, I know that's a whole other tangent that I've been going on, but I feel like it needs to be said because you all deserve to really understand and trust that you've done nothing wrong, in life. Yes, now that we're here, we now have the ability to do things wrong, to make mistakes. And what I call a mistake would be hurting anyone, hurting myself, hurting another. And there's even reasons for your mistakes, which is that you're working through it. You're learning and figuring things out and healing, and have been through trauma that got pushed onto you. So sometimes mistakes that happen were not even your fault to begin with. And we all, pretty much all mistakes, literally all of them, because if you go back to the beginning, was it you who was your parents? No. And some, like, if any of you vibe with, like, maybe you're not from here, like, literally like an alien, like, then at that point, you're literally above this world. Not that anyone's above another, but that you're literally just, like, on a higher dimension where you already know that you just want to live your life and have fun, and that you shouldn't have to do any work stuff, responsibility stuff. Like, this planet is a mess, and we're just trying to, like, enjoy who we are. How do you do that when this place literally, like, squeezes the life out of you, So, very problematic planet, but very important for you all to know that as scary as it is to try aligning into a world where you basically don't have to do anything that you don't actually want to do, the more you continue to actually align with that energy, the more things are going to fall into place. Like, it's shocking. Like, with zero plan, with no clear safety net, maybe you have some safety nets set up. We all have usually some amount of safety nets where we know that we can, that for some amount of time, which is the present moment, and some foreseeable amount of time, that we're good. Like, oh, I have this much money saved up. I can live in this place for X amount of months, days, years, whatever it may be. Like, many of us have some form of some safety net that's keeping us okay right now, but our fear is, what about later? But yeah, some of you have been noticing this miraculous shift where, as you've been literally And the beautiful thing to it is that there's no doing it right or doing it wrong. It's simply a process. So that one time that you chose to take a break instead of force yourself to do something, that counts. And all the times where you were still doing stuff that you don't want to do still counts, because it's that's not your fault, and you shouldn't be punished for that either. You shouldn't be punished for wanting to not do stuff, and you shouldn't be punished for if you fall under the peer pressure of this world where you feel like you have to do stuff. Because there's a lot of practical reasons that this world will push us to, that forces us to really understand that we have to do stuff, right? So it's pretty beautiful, isn't it? And it's pretty nice. We've got be bold and make the first move. So it's it's literally the more you take those steps towards just following your heart and not this world stuff, the more things seem to work out. And during this process, you're definitely going to have doubts and pain that you'll be working through, because you're going to be well, what if it's all a trick? What if it's been slowly shifting towards miraculously everything turning out okay, and all of a sudden I was wrong to relax, and then my life is ruined? You're going to have some sort of moments like that, I think, whether that's in the third week or just in life in general. But I do feel like there's some vibe out there where some of you will be going through that, particularly in the third week, which would mean second, third, and fourth weeks of the season. But let's go ahead and look into the final week. So this is the fourth and final week, which means part of the energy will have already shifted over into is it Scorpio season that's next, right? Yeah, Scorpio season. Which, happy birthday to all the Libras and Scorpios out there. So yeah, fourth and final week, we get the Page of Wands, once again fire. And it says journey, navigation, route, or route. Wow, and it's literally, it was it's because you were you in the third week, I feel like some blessings occurred. What was that card? This be bold. It's almost like a miracle showed up, an offer, and you all you simply have to do is take it, but you have a breakdown because you're worried that this very solid offer is too good to be true. And then after you kind of work through your feelings and cry it out, or however else you experience the feeling, it's what's left is the fact that you're still at the ending. You're still at the reward. It's you were worried that this reward that showed up in front of you, you'd have a breakdown, open your eyes, and it would be gone. But it's nope, you're still there at the finish line, whether you go through some heart opening or not. If you feel fine by the third week, that's good too. But for those of you, if you're going through something, it's whether or not you go through something, it's okay. It's okay to feel afraid at times. It's okay to be scared. You don't deserve fear, right? And all that. But I just mean you don't have to force yourself to not be afraid, which I'm just realizing that's what this be bold, be brave and make the first move. It's okay to feel the fear and to feel sad or to feel doubt, but you're gonna be brave anyways, and you're gonna do the thing. You're gonna take the offer or take that step that you need to take. It's just very beautiful. So we also get the Two of Wands, which is literally the decision-making card, needing to make a decision. So in the last week, it's more of a internal decision, really. Just thinking about it and deciding, literally deciding internally, like, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna do, like, you think about it. The last week of the season, you're gonna be thinking about what you want, literally staring out into the world or out your window, even like this card looks, literally thinking about what decisions you're making so that you can see through to your plans to continue and to go on this journey to see the world. A lot of you literally want to go see the world. You want to travel. You want to get out of this box that we've all been forced to conform into. So that's a message, if that resonates with anyone out there. Wow, here's you. Literally, this is the other thing I was thinking, that like literally when you do this, some of you, if you're not looking out a window, you're looking inside yourself. I swear that's what I was thinking before I started going on that tangent about seeing the world. And here's a card of someone looking at themselves, their reflection. Literally asking yourself, who am I? What do I want to do? What do I want to experience? And why would I put myself through anything that I don't want to do if I really care about myself? So a lot of this beautiful yin-yang, looking inside of yourself, reflection energy, it's amazing. And then finally we've got show, this is beautiful. Then we've got show the world the real you, which is so funny because when I was thinking all this, I almost said that Mulan kind of vibe, because reflection, and then like the energy is just reminding me of that. And if any of you know that song in Mulan, it's literally like, who is that girl I see staring straight? And then like, when will my reflection show who I am inside? Like, show the world the real you, like who I am inside, like who I really am. When will my reflection show me who I truly am? Like, the song that I thought about is literally this card. Like, I don't know, I'm truly amazed. And it might seem less amazing on the screen, possibly, to some of you out there, because it's like I didn't sing the song or whatever before I flipped this card, but I definitely was singing it in my head as I was showing all of these cards. I mean, it only came up the moment I drew this card, really, but like, it was all the word reflection, it was all getting there, and then boom, this song download just popped up for sure in so many ways. It's incredible. So, yeah, that is Libra season. Wow. So I hope you all enjoyed that reading of what to expect through Libra season itself. We will do a little bit more reading right now with Libra energy, which is basically just like a message about what to do in regards to relationships. So this is like overall energy and advice. So first, before the relationships things, the overall energy, I was sort of skipping ahead. So the overall energy of Libra season is the Three of Wands. A lot of it is about patience and waiting for the right moment to do things. So that's all that is. And I'm just going to leave it at that, because that definitely seems like the whole reading. Like, yeah, a lot of the very first card or first week's reading was this person literally sitting on the shore and thinking and just sort of sitting and getting creative. And this is like the same exact energy. In fact, so is the last card that we got in the final week, which is this person looking out the window. So it's like, and all these cards are all looking forward. They're all literally looking the same way. You don't make stuff up this good. Can't make this up. Literally, look, they're all looking forward. Like, when I look at it in the cards, they all look forward to the right. And the camera screen might be going the opposite way of what I'm saying, but just trust me that they're all definitely looking ahead. So you're looking ahead in life, is a lot of Libra season's energy, beginning and by the end as well. And maybe along the way there will be some like emotional turmoil, perhaps, particularly in that third week. Was it the 7 week or the second week? Seems pretty all right. But yeah, all of it looks generally positive. And funny enough, the third week might even end up to be the most positive, even though it had the Three of Swords card in it. But that is up for time to tell, and all of your individual journeys out there. So that's the overall reading. The last thing we're going to do is get a little bit of advice for the season. Let's get advice on your relationships. We'll start with a specific one on your mind. So for some of you, this could be a romantic relationship. This is just like whatever you deem like the most important relationship at this time. Obviously, that's with yourself. So some of you, if this is like advice for your relationship with yourself, definitely. But yeah, a lot of us, we do still have relationships in our lives that are important to us besides ourselves. So when I mean most important, I just mean like after yourself, who is like the next important relationship to you? Like the person that you've decided that is really important for you to like share your time. So some of you that could be a friendship, some of you that could be a partner. That could just be the idea that you want to look and find that person that is worthy of your time, you know? It can be a group, whatever this all is for you. Your advice is literally the Queen of Wands, which is saying, I did it. Feel good about. Your advice is simply feel good about your choice. Your time, your energy, your choice. Literally, you get to give your energy and share it with whoever you deem worthy. So your advice is to know that, like, you did it, that you deserve to feel good, that you chose to focus your energy on whatever you wanted out of relationships, whether it be with just yourself, like the Queen, or even with others. So you're definitely successful. The energy is very much setting you up for success, everybody. So not really so much advice, just the positive card to let you know that you deserve to feel good about your choices. So feel good about that you stood up for yourself in the positive way that was very open, confident, and that you're literally just choosing things based off of wanting to create what you really want to create. Now, in my journey right now, in this exact moment in time, I just think literally how could the other person even feel this kind of energy right now after wronging pretty much me so badly? But hey, everyone's got their own journey is the nicest thing I can say on screen right now. But really what I actually want to say is whatever helps you sleep at night. But funny enough, that's just a saying. A lot of nights I don't even sleep, so isn't that something for me? I don't know, but that's a different thing. So next we're going to get advice on relationships overall. So this is about the specific relationship that you're looking for or that you're interested in, your advice, which is basically that whatever that is your choice, and that's the right choice for you because it's what you're looking for. It's what you want. If you want a relationship, this is good. Do it. If you want alone time, go for it. This is good. This is your energy. If you want to spend more time with yourself or with your cat, there's a cat in this card, good. It's literally just telling you that your advice for the relationships that you want to focus on this season is to then focus on them this season because it's what you want. I saw the satellite card, which is literally you're just feeling drawn to go towards support, and companionship. It literally says satellite, support, attraction, companionship. So that's a very interesting card as well, since that's very much hand in hand with like relationships. So your advice for relationships overall, that's for like the relationships that you personally want to focus on. This is your advice for relationships overall. Like, so in general, this could be about challenges or relationships that you're struggling with or that are out of balance, like advice on what to do about those relationships. So it's a little different there. And those can overlap as well. Some of you who want to spend certain time with certain energy or people or loved ones, there could be challenges with it, and here would be advice for that. So that's an example of how this can overlap. But these could also be talking about standalone things, like the energy that really just isn't working with you, or there's really some gears or wrenches in the gears right now. We get Uranus, passion, indulgence, and sexuality, which is just basically saying, like, to me, that advice is just saying, like, go for what you want. Like, don't feel guilty or shame. Like, don't feel like you're doing something wrong by being assertive or being, like, upfront, being passionate, being open, being honest. Literally, you're like doing all the right things, pretty much. Don't get gaslit into thinking that you're breaking certain rules and boundaries here when we all know, like, I shouldn't say we all, but to me, the reality about boundaries is not that the moment a boundary is set up that you instantly have to follow every boundary and every rule perfectly, and that if you cross the boundary, whether you knew it or not, or whether that was your intention or not, that makes you in the wrong. Literally, that whole vibe, unless if the other person sets up that boundary that strongly, and it's like really important, and they know it, then yes. But the thing is, when people set up, that's why people say set up healthy boundaries. Because some people will set up boundaries just to set them up. There's not like a real healthy reason to it, which again is up to the individual to decide. But my point is, I personally feel like I'm a person who's really good at respecting people's boundaries. But with certain people that I meet on my journey, they make it really hard. Now, I don't want to make anyone feel like they're a problem or they're not good at standing up for themselves, because that's like a bully mentality. Like if someone's like, stop, you're like, why are you hitting yourself? I'm not doing anything, you know? I don't vibe with that. So, like, I really just mean this quite openly and honestly, that there are definitely people who, if they really wanted to set healthy boundaries, are going to have to put in a lot more self-work to be a more emotionally and mentally mature individual to really enforce those boundaries. Of course, like, everyone who wants their own healthy boundaries set deserves for that to be respected, and that it shouldn't ever be their fault if they can't get the other person to abide. Like if someone's like, I'm setting this healthy boundary, please give me this space, and then you show up and you're like, this is your fault, this isn't my fault, you know? Like, I get that. But also, when someone gives you a vague boundary out of thin air that never existed only until the moment things didn't go their way, and only didn't happen until they crossed multiple of your own boundaries, and it seems more like a reaction just to make their boundary look better than your boundary. I don't know. It's just like very, very challenging. Like, how do you work around that? Because it's like, first, your boundaries were crossed, so you were trying to like show that in some way. Then they reacted by then pushing past that, hurting you further, and trying to put up the boundary so that if you do anything in retaliation or in response, then now you're a bad person for breaking boundaries when they were the ones who broke your boundaries. You know, I know that sounds really confusing, but that's literally the situation I'm in. So, the advice is literally don't hold back. Don't feel bad. Like, as much as no one should ever push your boundaries, like, you've had to stand up for yourself. You've had to make it clear when you have a boundary set. And running away is not the option to do that. If you do that, and also if that's what you need to be safe, to get out of a bad situation, of course do that. But I just mean, like, do you ever like experience where there's some like hater on the internet and you eventually just go, I'll just ignore them, and you just like leave it be and they never message you again? It's like, although that is slightly good because you're not giving your time to them anymore, at the same time, it's like, why did they get to speak their gross truth about why they deserve to be a hateful person and be right about wronging you or others, while you, who's actually right, has to keep quiet about it? You know what I mean? So it's like, we do need to stand up for ourselves. We do need to actually have that power to strongly and openly set healthy boundaries. It's very different from when someone gives you a very quick boundary that you don't really understand it all because, again, no communication skills put into that at all. And it's like, even the most patient people in this world, maybe not the most, because there's definitely patient people out there that are just so good at that, at being like very understanding and like listening all the time. But pretty much I'm just saying, like, even the most understanding patient people can be really pushed by certain people. And then when you get pushed and do stuff, they kind of try and make you seem like you just like broke boundaries, so now you're a hypocrite or you're a bad person or whatever the perspective is. And also, like, then if it's not that, then they get to fall back on the victim mentality and be like, oh, I'm making you feel like a bad person. And it's like, just stop. Just stop. Stop with the mind games. Stop with this. Stop with that. Like, just be who you are. Just be a person. Like, figure out who you are. Figure out what you want. Like, don't project, like, oh, I don't want to be seen as a monster, so I'm going to treat you like a monster instead. Don't do that. Literally, why do people do that? I'm wondering if any of you here at the end of this reading are listening to all this and you know exactly these kinds of experiences, or that you're going through it too with whoever in life. Like, people can be so silly. Like, why? But yeah, it's so interesting. And I feel like there could definitely be a good amount of you listening where it's more like you can empathize, but that you yourself pretty much have people who are way nicer to you, basically. That is the real question, right? Why is Sun Mushy even around or with someone who does this to him all the time? Excellent question, everybody. My best response is like, I'm a loving person and I am like tired of being alone. I am tired of it. And when I mean something, I give it my all. Even if I feel differently throughout the experience. Like, oh, I can't do this. I'm done now. Doesn't mean I'm going to ghost you forever, make you feel like garbage, treat you like a monster, and throw away all, like, respect or, like, kindness, while meanwhile giving all that good old energy and, like, stuff to a bunch of terrible people who don't deserve your time or energy. You know? Any of you are wondering what that's all about? Pretty much my partner is now giving his time and energy to his toxic parents. Same people that when I knock and ring their doorbell to talk to him, they all pretend I'm not even there. They will just know I'm outside, and they'll just pretend they're not home. It is the most terrible thing you could literally do to someone who's supposed to matter. Now, vice versa to this, the part where it's extra disgusting is that my partner's one of his parents would come over here without consent over and over, no matter how many times they've been told, don't come over here, literally stop. Every single time that person, his parent would come over, knock or ring, he'll go right away and talk to that person, give them as much time and energy as that person really wants out of the experience. Every time. And vice versa, me, someone who should matter, who should deserve time with my partner or ex, whatever we are, suddenly they're not home. Literally, why? How could anyone actually treat someone like that? The fun thing about this is that my ex-boyfriend, whatever, on and off, I should say, we always end up back together. Or so far we have. My on and off boyfriend is a Libra. So he's supposed to be all about fairness, right? So where is that? Where is that in this situation exactly? The fairness of giving toxic people better treatment than good people, which is exactly what toxic people would do, which is I thought you were trying to claim that you're not toxic. So what's going on there? Pick a lane. I don't know. It's so annoying. I'm just so upset. And it's I get so angry because it's I am not about to be heartbroken over someone who would make me feel so terrible. So it's I'd rather get to yell and be angry and tell them exactly what it is and hear them actually acknowledge that they're shitty, that they treated me like shit, that they fucked up, and that they should be begging for me. I know that sounds maybe kind of harsh or whatever, no one should beg for your time, right? Because self-worth and everything, yes, we all deserve to feel worthy and good about ourselves. But seriously, when I've done nothing wrong and I get treated like shit, another thing about your self-worth is that you do deserve people who actually want you. I hope you all know that. I think it's not the worst thing in the world to want someone who, if they fuck up, to actually want to try anything possible to make it up to you. Literally, why wouldn't any of us want that? So that's what I want. Yet, apparently I don't deserve that now. Because I gave my partner an out. I gave him a possible way to exit. Oh, you're doing it? I'm going to do it now instantly, super faster than you, bye. Just no. Just no. Just don't treat people like that. Now, I've done a lot of similar of these things throughout my life. Because deep down, honestly, it just turned out that I was just looking for something else in life, and that it was myself, and I was trying to find myself more, and needed to really meet new people after that. Because you ever realize your mistakes and how you wronged someone in your past, but you also realize since you've already met them and messed up, you just want to start new? Yeah. Which is why timing is everything. Which is why I'm listen, if you give it too much time, you will be so much about my past that I will not do this. But if you actually really wanted to work through it, I don't know, It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, people, the older you get entering relationships, it should be more and more serious. Truly. Like, at least my excuse was like, I was 7, I was 12. But like, now we're in our 20s, so like, what is the excuse there? Like, now having some intense experiences where you do something drastic in an instant, understandable. It's what I do all the time. But like, with my on and off partner, it becomes the moment it doesn't go his way, it's a really long term, like, I could just make you feel like you don't matter forever type of a thing. Unless if you really force me back here, and then I'll like say sorry and be nice to you until I hurt you again in the future. Then I'll treat you like shit again until you realize you were wrong for being wronged by me. It's like, either outgrow that behavior, or like, I'm gonna eventually not do that again, and you're gonna be an idiot for losing me. So, none of this was the reading. I should have told all of you at the end of the reading, thank you all for watching. You can take care now if you would like to leave. Any of you who just like sat through all that, listening to me, empathizing, or just wondering how I'm doing, thank you for listening. I do appreciate that. Sadly enough, on my own channel, I'm like, oh, I just took up all this time. People aren't here for me. They're here for the readings. I shouldn't be doing this. And it's like, what am I talking about? This is literally my channel. This is a place I go to like talk to myself and to work through stuff, to have an outlet to actually express my thoughts outwardly to whoever. Because for some reason, I'm better at talking to people by myself to a screen or a camera than around people. I think because with this, I don't have to worry as much. As you all see, I still think about how my audience would be viewing this or hurting anyone out there. Like, the reason I do this, some people would be like, don't project your own thing into the reading, bro. The issue with that is that if I don't and I just give the reading, a lot of that reading basically just says you're all very happy. In the 3rd week, your heart is hurting, but everywhere else you're feeling so good for the most part, other than those arrows that were in you in the 6 of Wands. But other than that, almost every card was just saying like you feel amazing all the time. I don't think that's going to be true for everyone listening. So I do kind of need to mesh it with my own energy to kind of build a picture that feels a little more accurate to what could actually be going on. I ran into these random people on the internet one time, and then I just didn't talk to them. They were basically trying to explain that psychics aren't real and that they're all lying to you, and the ones who aren't lying just think that they're not lying to you. And what a disgusting like mindset, in my opinion. Not to call any person like anything bad, but I just mean like seriously, like, no, do not invalidate a bunch of people's experience. Like, why? Like, okay, we get it. You don't feel the magic. That sucks for you, but don't try to then convince the people who do feel the magic that they're like stupid so that you can feel smart for being an unmagical person. That doesn't even make sense to me. Like, it's like, just no, like, just stop. Like, but yeah. My point in all of that is that my response to those kinds of people is psychics are not here to be right about everything. Because those people are like acting as though psychics are the gods of this world and that everyone else is beneath them. It's like, no, idiot. I shouldn't call anyone an idiot. I'm sorry. But it's my lingo. And maybe I'll work through it as I age and grow. But right now, this is where I'm definitely at. Because it's like, no. Like, and it's like, my favorite thing about the word idiot is that it's because I'm clearly like upset that these people like to make other people feel like there's a superiority thing or that one person is stupider than another. And I think that is truly stupid. Because it's like what I think would be really smart if I got to decide what means smart and stupid, to me, smart means you're just a good person, or like you care, or like you're trying to understand, or like you don't purposely hurt a bunch of people, like, but these people just do. Or they just do hurt people whether they try to or not. Like that mindset is very damaging. Like just telling people that psychics aren't real, all because it's what they believe. Let me change this song. You know this one. I love this song. You know, like it's just like mean, because it's like these are a bunch of people, many of which are older than you, not just through this physical world, but like spiritually. Very obviously spiritually, since these people don't believe in spirit if they don't believe in psychics. Although you can believe in spirit without believing in psychics, that's fine. That's probably just a different vibe altogether, though. And those people probably aren't forcing the other people to believe that psychics aren't real. They're just like, I had a bad experience with psychics, so that's all. And that's totally fine. But these are people that like just straight up don't think there's anything interesting to the universe. Like, there's not some sort of like magic going on here beyond what these bland human people say and do as they live very basic superficial lives where they don't care about substance or meaning, clearly, because they don't believe in it. So it's like, ew, like, why even align with that? What the only benefit I see is you get to numb yourself to all the reality that there actually is, while then telling other people that they're not in touch with reality. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like bullies, terrible people, toxic people, all these people who just like to disagree with others who are actually right, like all the time. Just stop. Just stop trying to make other people who are right feel like they're wrong. And admit when you're wrong. We're all wrong sometimes. But the ones who admit that are the ones who are right all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty obvious to me, but not to everyone, I guess. So, Pisces problems. So, that's my whole video. Thank you all for listening. I love you all. I do hope you got something out of that reading, and maybe there was something relatable in all of this stuff that I'm going through to any of you out there. And hopefully I'll do a yoga video soon. I've been sort of wanting to do yoga. Someone requested it, but after I had a breakdown and realized how my support from this one person is kind of non-existent, pretty much. There's words, I guess, but like if the words really meant something, like I don't know, there'd be more than that. There'd be some form of a follow-up. There'd be some form of like, I will go drive to you, or like, you're important, I'm gonna go to you straight away because you mean everything I said that you mean to me, kind of a way. This isn't my on and off partner, by the way. This is just like a friend, basically, a support system, someone who's supposed to be supportive of me, but like a good amount of the time they're like not here actually at all, actually ever. Like the last time we met up was probably last year or sometime this year, and then the last time before that was like another year. Like, and like I get how I'm like that with people, but I'm like very honest about it. I'm not like stringing someone along telling them that we're exact best friends and getting like angry when the other person's not going to message, but then I have the free will to never actually give you any of my energy. Like, no. So the yoga video request was from that person. So now I'm like, do I really want to? But also, I myself want to. So, like, I might still do it. But those are my thoughts on that other situation in my life. Just one example of how, as much as I shared stuff, obviously this is just one thing. I have so much that I could vent about. Hopefully I make some vlogs again in the future, because I know a lot of you did watch my vlogs just to hear me talk about my life. So it's really cool that you guys find me really interesting. I really appreciate it. And I forgot to mention this, but one of the reasons why I chose this deck was because a dear friend of mine gave me a reading recently, and you guys should check her out. Her name is Stephanie. She has a channel, Stephanie Michelle. I'll just put a link as well on this live video. Boop. Which, by the way, if you ever hear this, Stephanie, last time I talked, we were talking about, well, I don't want to put it on the channel, but basically that big news, it was very much connected to my partner. So it's not happening as of now anymore, just as an update. So if I ever want to tell you that story of how it is that I'm doing the big thing, it's only if this works out with this partner. And if it doesn't, maybe it's just not worth the story. But also, I could probably tell the story later. It is very personal, so that's another reason I won't share it on this channel. But maybe, like, down the road, I'd feel comfortable with it, because I'd be like, that's enough time for the other person to be, like, okay with that being just, like, broadcasted as, like, news, I guess. But, yeah. That's my last link for any of you interested in her channel. But point is, I got a reading recently, and I believe it was that reading where these cards were drawn. It's even possible I got cards drawn from this deck from my other friend, who I could also put a connect in here as well. Her name is Effie. And I have to find I believe it's this one. Metamorphic Moments on Instagram. So here's a link to that. Also, another really good friend of mine, Chiwe. Where did Instagram go? I might have exited out. No, it's right there. She's really cool. Shout out to Chiwe. But she has a YouTube channel now. I haven't seen her most latest videos, but I watched her first one and it was amazing. How am I not subscribed? Oh, you know what? It's because when I found her channel, it was on my phone through Instagram, because she posts on there. And then I clicked it and watched the video on my channel, or on my phone. Did any of you experience this? You're on your phone through Instagram to YouTube, and then you want to click like, and then it's like, please sign in. And it's like, okay, no. Like, you're like, I'm not going to sign in. Like, you should know it's me. But also, I guess that makes sense somehow. But, like, how? When I'm on Instagram and my YouTube app is logged in and both accounts are linked to me, I don't know. It should just make sense to my phone and to the whole system. But it's not like that when you go to a YouTube video through Instagram. But anyways, how am I not subscribed? Boom! Subscribe. But anyways, here is Chiwe's channel. I love Chiwe. All these links are all things that I love, or people that I love. The reason why I said things is because the first link is to the Katamari music, and yeah. And then the next one was like people and Sudoku puzzles, which are like kind of like things, you know? So, okay, that is all. This is my Libra energy update / vlog rant. Much love, everybody. I hope I can see 2 of my best friends later today, which is today-ro, because it's like 2 a.m. right now, so like when I go sleep or something. But yeah, okay. Be well, everybody. Wishing you all the best. All right. Take care.